it out as indeed no waylay here, but the west side Phoenix, this was definitely drawing our eye when it came to the game last week, and no surprise he's locked it in here, already locking in the first headshot as well. Something west side thrives at. GX finding themselves a man to the good as the spike's going down on C.
Yeah, they've really struggled on the defensive side of this map, but their attack was sublime. So this first half is going to be interesting to see if they're able to fix their issues. Alorente, well, he had a bit of a troublesome week last week. It doesn't look like it's getting any better. qpert under pressure. But he will be able to fall back to his teammate. That ex-duo of Liquid Academy looking to try and hold the line. It's all on to Ninja.
1-8 first kills. Had a really tough game. Nice opening here from Seven. Again, him on the duelist, opening up a lot of space. And the B-side plant already coming through. Got to be cautious of the flank, but that's exactly what Ninja's doing, locking that down with a deeper play from Alorente. Losing cNed, not ideal, but of course, Seven is here to pull back every advantage that they'll give them. This is a stellar round already, sticking around for more, and Seven with 4 on the tally. Only Ara left to fall, a judge in hand. And not too many examples of where that judge could be used favorably. Seven's low, so maybe that's your prime target, but the ace just 1 kill away. And Ara's almost teasing them with it. Oh, it's so close, the shots don't
get
land.
That confidence brewing, especially on the Neon. But this was all him. I think there was hesitation at the end because you go, well, I don't want to give a rifle away.
Yeah,
like, I don't want to turn this into 2 guns being dropped versus a bonus, but that's superb. Just great at taking those isolated fights in a fairly aggressive position. There you go. Straight down mid he goes, and well, it's actually Ara to take the initial fight and lose. He's gonna run out. That was how they sort of adapted to GX when playing that attack, was you just slow down. You let them come to you, and I'm hoping that GX have worked on having a little bit more in the tank. This retake setup seems to be the goal, but they are losing those fights again, though. Westside springing to life. He's given a small chance to Cloud. Well, maybe a chance of the 1v1, but he's not.
Spawn, if it took them a second or two longer, he would have had a massive hand to play in that round. And although, yes, a phenomenal attempt by Westside again, cover their bases, make sure that the defensive line hasn't been broken, and now rotate to A, where they already find their opening pick. The problem being that the rest of Pacific are towards this C side, and Flickless has got the bandit. It's not like he's helpless in that fight, but he makes the wise choice to wait for backup.
Try and get back in as a squad, but it's only really Cloud that has anything to play with. The few pistols that can be put in as well. Shock darts might make things a little bit more difficult for Seven in the backline. In fact, nice. It's semi-bin check, but the trades have worked. Even still, though, Seven comes alive again already. Maybe on for his second ace of the game.
No way.
There's only been 4 rounds so far, a 5th in this one. It could be 2 aces in 5 rounds if he can manage to take it home. He's in the right place at the right time. 5 rounds, 2 aces.
Yeah, I mean, they're just one of the best players that we've got in the scene, honestly. Seven, when they joined here, again, I say this almost every time. Yes. Hey.
I've been a little bit more patient. I'd still like to see the operator come in. I think that will help quite a bit with this. Grubinho, he's not going to survive, but the trades are good.
Spike down mid.
Leaves them in an advantage. A chance to equalize with Ninja and Alorente, the last 2. But the bigger problem is they don't have the spike or any space. And, well, Ninja has found information, but at the cost of, well, almost his life.
Last player standing.
Yeah, now becoming an impossible task. Close Ara knows now that they're moving to the A site, but Cloud has to either hold his ground or get out alive, and he at least manages the latter.
Yeah, this is where you look at that retake setup. Having the ultimate gives a little bit more of an opportunity to get back into the site. But it's also where cNed's operator can become that little bit more deadly. Just watching that flank, patiently waiting for anybody to attempt around that corner. It needs to be a pacey swing from Ara if he's going to get past. And well, he does, but there's a second layer to it. Seven keeping them in an advantageous position. Now Westside goes through with the ult, but he's not able to connect the shots. He needs someone to attempt to trade, and it's a little bit further behind. Even still, they're making this work. Time ticking. Ninja, the only one remaining. He gets back into the smoke, but it fades.
Ruse to take late C.
Counter paranoia. 3 players were already here, and it leaves it onto Flickless. He's been good so far. Hunter's Fury through, and once again, Flickless holding his ground, but it's more on westside. Joined a little bit later, still fighting on the site, and this Phoenix ever so fierce. It leaves cNed alone. No operator in hand anymore, and of course the defense, they'll be waiting for Ara.
Oh, there's his get out of jail free card now. He's gonna sustain those fights. The stun is perfect, and he nearly gets all alone as Cloud, and now he's surrounded. Not so easy to get out scot-free. A price to be paid, and the paranoia should lock that in. Pacific trade out the early fight, and we'll get a plant now.
And they'll run it back this time, but they do have the overdrive.
Nice.
Pit makes sense. Gonna make it tougher to get out. Well, saying that, Ara's just gone. Rifle retrieved. One's been killed out by the flames as well, so that's at least gonna make things a little bit easier. Almost a frag. A swing around from Grubinho, but that was the low player. They still are yet to find the Viper of Valorante lurking in the darkness. But the problem is that spike positioning. They now need to swing out of the pit. They need to go looking to try and deny. And the second they are, they're just waiting on the other side.
Last week, the walk up here from cNed's being watched. He's going to go straight into that crosshair, but he fires a shot into Ara. Returning to the site, this time with a 5.
Happy with this half already. Of course, you don't want to teeter out at the end. You don't want
for Ara. Early rotation through the spawn, but it's all on Ara. How much can he get here? A favored situation. It looks to get even better, but hold on. Valorante in 7. They pulled this back. Pacific somehow are now in the lead. Flickless on 11s, walking into Valorante and winning the fight. Okay, neck and neck again.
Well, the way we've got here isn't pretty. I don't like it, but we are in a 3v3. The man they're walking into is westside. Oh, not really going to play a part here. It's all going to be about those headshots. So the first one's clean, but doesn't manage anything more. His 2 teammates on the other side of the map, and well, even after the last fight, Flickless is still on 11 HP.
Well, Ninja's not looking any healthier. I mean, we've got about as even a fight as you can imagine. Early info for GX, cleared out Garrett's window, look towards sight now where both players sit, the headshot delivered, and the man with almost works as an early rotate though. Cloud's much closer by, but with an op. Oh, he's gonna want to get there before the push comes in, buying time, doesn't seem to work out, but then Flickless steps up to the plate, Cage to play around, finds another, and eventually he will fall, but he's done more than his fair share. Still some slack to be picked up. And a 2 versus 2. Nice work by Ara, coming in from heaven just in time, and Cloud's following up. Now they'll double swing. 7 manages to isolate one, dodges the shots, and slides in for a little action. Neon on Neon. Wide goes
Pacific. They left this map open. I guess they watched how GX would dismantle on this map last week, and as of right now, they have not been able to recreate that. Already the C site completely under enemy control. They're hunting for the lurker. The lurker is chilling with his friends. That is Flickless. He's on site. And they aren't getting in on that flank, but the second this trip is broken, yeah, you're immediately going to see players start to look the other way, start to realize that they're being encroached on. And the worry as well for Pacific is this has been quite a slow look at the retake. That time has been ticking.
Keep on ticking it, shall paranoia sent through. Now it's time for Pacific to close the distance, but they haven't accounted for Flickless up close, already taking one, leaving another on a sliver of health, and it looks like nothing but a sea of success for GX. cNed, 10 health and a dream, but a dream soon. Things are working inside GX. That's what I've been wondering all game, but you know what? It's time to take a listen.
I'm stand 140. Hey, walk, come. Walk garage.
They left mid, I think.
You're gonna walk garage. I'm gonna walk garage, Cloud. You can do.
Close. This trap was behind the box now. Fuck. Omen, backside.
Go towards side, go towards side, you.
They're giving up C, by the way.
Yeah, he's city. He's top city.
3, 2, 1.
It's just like me, for real.
Can't believe he was behind the box. Nice job by qpert. There's Flickless down, and Grubinho, last man standing. If he makes this happen, we end the game, end the series here and now. Nice paranoia, but he'll be put 7. Duelist Neon after the attack side, after losing 8-4. Phenomenal work from him. But how deep does the bench go on Pacific? And right now, well, the bench narrowing out a little bit. Only room for 4 left, but in comes 7, now on site ready to defend this. Ninja has timing to walk through that smoke, but westside was watching it. It all falls into the hands of 7 yet again. This time, only 2. More than their share, certainly. So much more to be done. Damage onto westside, but a wall's going to give him a little bit more health to play with. And the flash might mean it just doesn't matter.
Cover going out.
Oh, they know where they are as well. So he's going to actually wrap back through heaven.
Nasty.
Still has a flash available as well, so jumping out might be a bit of a risk, but never mind.
Pacific feels like, although we talked about GX as the sleeping giants, it's Pacific who haven't woken up today, but 7 wide awake, taking the first. It's westside down, the big danger, but now more threats pop up. A shot missed. Oh no!
It's hard, but it really does feel like we're in a scenario where 6-7.
You know, chat's going wild now. You know what you've done. You know what you've
Okay,
done.
he's truly back. He's back. It's 2021 again. Ah, no, it's not. We're back in 2026. qpert has managed to trade things back into an advantage. Hunter's Fury through. They're kind of boxed in, but I felt like he was closer to hitting his teammates there than hitting anyone else, but maybe a missed call, maybe a little bit of a worry that somebody has managed to slip the net. Ninja still has the drone. It's going to be broken. Paranoia immediately in, and Cloud tries to cover. It should be a clearance. Grubinho does well. And now left to, well, the man of the moment, but not this time.
Thank God.
Okay.
And Pacific, they get another bite of the cherry. It's 7 down early. Great flash. But this is
they haven't needed him at all, so it's not a problem. Ninja, great position. Should be at least 1 and 2. And Grubinho's low. You know, if anything, it's an advantage. Alorente, at least he's traded evenly.
Yeah, it was clean as well, Tom. It was so clean. That's the important part.
Yeah, really clean.
So just precision off the charts. And now backside, cNed isolated from qpert. Looks like qpert's going to make his way through garage to meet up, but cNed's already backed up, given the space. Oh, here we go. Deep play by 7, and Cloud just clarts him. Unbelievable. qpert stuck inside the window, will be slid on by Ara. This is chaos. I've seen death matches with more of a defensive and offensive line, more structure than what I'm witnessing here, and don't slow it down. For God's sake!
He hit the shot.
What's
going on?
What is he doing?
No, they forgot about westside's ult. He went back into the corner, and there was nobody covering the ult anymore.
He didn't move.
Oh no!
Wasn't he out of ult for like a second there and just stared at a wall?
I guess either he assumed he was dead or it was still delayed. Nonetheless, somehow cNed now has a chance. Ara is looking the other way, but his teammates a little bit further away. There's still a chance to fight this. cNed's gonna get the kill through the smoke. Somehow this is a 1v1. If I had hair, it would be falling out, but you never know. Greatest clutch of all time. Grubinho on the other side. Time has been ticking. cNed needs to move. He spotted him! Fairly quick fashion.
Well, aggression from GX. We saw this as a downside on the previous map, something Pacific were ready for, but this time Alorente lurking out on that veto, gets caught off guard. Westside delivering headshots! And now a 4 versus 2 thanks to his efforts. The flank coming through, connects every shot, and 4v1, the IGL of Pacific. A kill under his belt already, but 20 HP left. He is done for.
I only have smoke for flash.
Main.
He's top side.
1, 2.
Leading. Close main. Arena. Close main. The main player.
Low HP Astra.
Go.
I see side.
Oh, now full site control landing into their hands as we saw and heard, but now GX have got players at the gates ready to rally back through on the retake, and the spike still hasn't gone down. Utility making a bit of an issue, and a wide swing from Cloud. He's got one from miles away. Westside chimes in, Grubby's there too, and qpert, the last man standing. He tries to find the final player, but
now need to, well, I say need to get a move on. They need to make a decision. They're now coming back out towards the B side, which is a decent read. Even still, though, Ara's managed to get him behind them. The man advantage claimed by GX, but a post plant on that B side looking pretty likely.
Yeah, we saw him posturing for that fight. And Ara catches him off guard, finds another. The push up from 7, spotted as well, but the punish is still there. A 3 versus 2, Pacific having again to climb up the squad that was bottom of the table last stage. Now falling behind in this series already. One series behind them that didn't go all too well, and the end of stage 1 could be just around the corner for them. qpert manages to land one, cNed on it.
He's like elbow table.
Nice little bit of info for Ara. Maybe clicked that earlier than he wanted to. But he finds them all here, and so the rotate already underway. Decent buy for Pacific, of course, yet again, with a rocket launcher. It only finds one, and it's a trade. Ara's been doing so well. Another opening duel under his belt. Being on fire, but hold on! He might have opened the round, but the door shut in their face on the way through that cosmic divide. Cloud all alone, 3 to take down, and chances looking slim to none. He's going to be at least destroying the Prowler, keeping boots on the ground on that side of the map of the fight, but this is almost better for him. Not avoid, you know, he goes out for it eventually, scares me a little bit. You don't really want to give them opportunities.
The lower that clock gets, the scarier things are. And if they think they've sold a full fake out here, that could be a little bit more of a problem. Here goes the potential of that seize. There goes the salvos. qpert's not going to survive, but 7 is waiting. The second player close enough that it isn't too dangerous. Spams would need to kill him, and it doesn't. Now it shouldn't be too dangerous.
Oh, well, already getting an ult out of Ninja in this round. It's
not too bad.
He's chipping away at the ult economy. See if that, pardon me, damage can be done. I like the Pacific just took that safe space towards Art. Goal! Let's see how safe it is.
He's got
2 left, both towards this angle, but time is going to be a big factor. 7 pushes forward. The Cosmic Divide shrouding his steps as he gets up close, but a player behind. It's Grubby, who's ended up taking the kills. cNed shot in the back. Control in A main. The Cypher setup on B, and the fact that they will sit back for the most part and just wait. The only real risk is Grubby, and they are about to pressure him.
Well, I think as well, Alarante's just used evolution, so he's going to be able to avoid a lot of this utility. That's a surprise factor that I still feel like some might not necessarily be used to being dead. He's not immune to a bullet to the face. Nightfall hits onto 7, so he's down to just 1 health, and that time is ticking with their players slowly being diminished. They haven't even destroyed any of the trips. It's going to make things even harder to get through this utility unscathed. Well, nice shots from Ninja. He's given them an opportunity again. The salvo's still online. The jump across is risky. But that was the danger, and now the spike on the deck. Round over, unless they overface, which they shouldn't.
No, it would be a crazy round to throw.
It would be a crime. It hasn't really worked. Like, against double controller, maybe you can try and pull that off. This time, though, they have managed to catch westside. And they did rotate in towards middle.
30 seconds left.
The players that they saw were caught.
Spike planted.
Now, Ara still does have his ultimate available. One piece of utility that is still powerful over on that waylay. But with how widespread some of these players are, and the fact they've caught Gruby, see whether or not they invest it here.
Going for this at this point, near impossible. An uphill battle, although they'll catch qpert, still double the numbers on the other side. The risk. Everybody else was playing further back. You had a lot of ults. Important to note that they've spotted 2 players here, but neither of them were westside. That could almost sell as a ruse, but now cages go up. They know, and already traps are going to be destroyed. Utility sent through for that, and over the top. Oh, it's a risky play up against westside, and 7 pays for it with their life. A 4v5, but the post plant at least secured for Pacific. A safe ground, or so they think. They move towards actually fighting the site. Ult goes in from Ara, perfectly timed. He's wrapped around. Shot lands, leaves him low, and Grubby cleans up the kill. Numbers keep on ticking in favor of GX as the defuse gets its way to half and 3. You have to commend GX for patching up the gaps. We'll see how the next half goes, of course, but for now, at least big success. That trap has slowed him down. 7, he's not going to make it quite as far, quite as fast, and that's going to make a big difference to that showstopper doing what it needed to here. At least it claims them space. A bit of crowd control, but they end up walking right into the op of Ara. Another opening duel to tally on up 5-0 in this half. And again, it just goes to show this guy has got such a high ceiling, and this time he's operating on it. But Ninja's pulled this back. Now a doable round till Ara sings in, and qpert left alone. The shot lands to start. The man of the hour. He's faked it to start, and qpert's not falling for it. He was waiting for the second tap, swings in and misses the shot, but buying time is all he needs to do!
Feeling he's just going to try and shooty his way out of this one.
4 is actually more than 2.
Okay.
So I would say
There's no fall off.
that it might, well, yeah, it may now. 9-3. If it's right, it's my idea. 9-3 for GX.
30 seconds
And a chance to really hammer home this victory. They're going aggressive with the Sheriffs. And it's going to be 2 wall-bang headshots, missed shots on the other side. The spams and the smoke for cNed, not lucky today. And even though 2 players are clinging on for dear life, GX still have a 2-man advantage.
Well, they've lost
1 enemy remaining.
one of their sheriffs.
you can stop there.
Being used by GX, and now they're going to run down into what is a stack-up of players.
Spike down mid.
Well, only one's managed to find the kill. 7's been quiet. The 2 aces of the last map not really having the same impact, and a nice shot from Flickless, but that might be all she wrote. Spike down in a horrible position. They are pushing into westside though, and you have to be careful doing that. And Ara, I think he's going to be figured out now. It's been too long where he hasn't reacted off anything his teammates done, so they are
30
expecting a
seconds
flank.
left.
If he gets one, that ult could be so dangerous, but he needs the first, and it's qpert
He can get the spike.
stepping back into art. Now the spike is there. No, he doesn't. He's miles away. He'd have to win both duels, and they will not offer those up today. A rifle carried forward, but a round lost. And Pacific, well, the start last week, while Pacific kind of remained in the same spot.
Well, I think that's the thing. Credit has to be given to
Be right back.
Pips and Waylander. They're always good at sort of learning from their mistakes, adapting, getting better as the season goes on. Alorante in a good position. Again, it has not been a week to remember for him. Can he have that standout moment? It's going to be 1, but he's definitely facilitated cNed to
remaining.
make that 3. The
Spike
third one,
down
well,
B.
a little bit of luck that goes a long way.
But he wants to make this a bit more costly if he can. Bleed
10
out those
seconds
credits
left.
from Pacific.
Have that level of belief. A buy round now back in. And while Westside versus Alorante has been a very one-sided story so far in this match, and with the B site now completely open for business, it really comes down to, can they kill Ara cleanly? And they can. That at least gives them a way back into this round, because a 5v4 retake on B, I don't believe at all. 4v4, there's potential, but it is still tough.
Well, they certainly know the flank is coming. And the man that's watching it is Westside. He can have support quite quickly. Indeed, the flank is almost all that's coming. cNed sitting back in spawn with the up, hoping for an overextension, but there is none. Instead, looking to meet them head on the flank, finding a double. In goes a nightfall though. This is going to catch the majority. Does it reach all the way to the back? No, it doesn't. It leaves a bit of a gap, and in fact, that gap is the only place that they've got anyone standing. The defensive side, they have to decide where they go. Unfortunately, they go towards A. The rotation now slower, and cNed left on his own. Gets one, and even decides to stick around in a risky enough position, but that might get being in this spot, especially when there's a trip right beside him to hold down that push, but it has worked out. The double, an advantage is built on from here.
What was he saying? The off-angle king? That's what he was calling himself earlier.
Last player standing.
And clearly it worked.
Spike
It's
down,
playing
B.
a slight, as you said, that's going to be the case again, and what was there before was just the momentum of
VODs for the guys to look at. Well, here we go. Deep play from Pacific. They're trying a bit of aggression, are going to be met by a trap.
They found my wire.
And that wire broke, and Westside knows what's going on. Cam's going to spot one walking through, the others with a patient face, and now they'll group up. I like this. This could completely catch them off guard, holding mid, but Westside not one to miss those kinds of shots. Oh, man.
I know
The right
exactly
idea from
where.
Pacific, but GX, they were ready. And the fact that it wasn't just Westside, the grubinho is there as well, is very unlucky for the defensive side. But those shots landed. There's no look about it. That's pure skill. Hold on. He's wrapping up behind Alorante. He's being launched, and the shots don't land. qpert, great round last round. Pacific get the info early. And they're in the right position to avoid that ultimate coming through. The C's not so much. Ara's already going to get side control for free in the
Good
spam.
util.
It takes down 7. A wild spray through the smoke. I don't think he could see him from there. The X is further back than where the body actually was. He was still on the steps. Oh, that's devastating. A player down already. cNed on his way with an op. He spotted one close, but the stun doesn't catch him. There's a second man behind him. They are ready for this swing, waiting for it, and Ara doesn't need any help. But Alorente with a triple. They're still in this. They're still alive. Maybe not for the top of the group, but to make it through, and those players coming back in. Our timing is perfect! It looked like it was perfect, but Seven and Ninja dealt with by Flickless. Another huge round by him. cNed knows, and he'll catch one. He'll get out, but he is surrounded and has to fight his way out, brawl his way back to his buddies. And he spotted them. He's seen a player up close. That's the only man he needs to deal with. Alorante's on his way, but cNed will be there waiting.
One coming through. Cloud stunned up, but no one able to react off it. A very low HP cNed, but with an operator that might not be too bad. The players have been heard, making their way to the site, and that's cNed gone back into a 2 versus 2. No salvos to be had, not a lot of post on this fight. It's everything, and qpert wins it again. The position.
GX are to take it. Let's listen in with GX for this pivotal round.
I'm pillar. Backside.
Can reveal.
Dead.
Tetris.
Last player standing. Spike down B.
40 seconds left. Committed to this B site. A fourth player rotating in. And Ara taking some serious damage. Alorante's gonna miss. They've almost forgotten about him. And he has sprung to life over the last couple of rounds, but another man they've forgotten about is Ara in the backlines. Somehow still standing, and now the only one left. He will fall.
Now to fight their way back on the attack side, the one that they struggled to find rounds on. Already blitzing in and losing Ara on the entry. It seems unusual in this map to see him lose an opening duel.
It's a good seize, but they just don't manage to capitalize off it. A few players tagged up, but those tags don't really play a part. I like the re-aggression as well from Pacific. They're not just sitting pretty, they're feeling confident. They're looking for those fights, and they are going to find them. 2 players about to round the corner. One dead immediately, the second as well. Map 3 looking inevitable. With the spikes dropped, it's now a retrieval mission. Utility having to be used just to try and claim that back at grubinho's space.
But now, at the final hour, the final minute, at the bloody finish line, Pacific have come back through. And for all intents and purposes, they have snuffed out that. They're about to come through the bottom. cNed dodges the flash. Beautiful shot onto Ara as well, starting with a first kill for cNed. So much damage done! But GX, they battle back 45 or less on every single player. But a 4v2. Anyone's game, and it's GX with the time on their side.
That comes down to mistakes. Is anybody going to give them an opportunity?
One enemy remaining.
Doesn't look like it. Westside's fighting.
Tiger sent through to pave the way, already finding one up close, and that's a decent amount of defenders backing up this site now. They've all flooded in. A sea of blue, of cyan, and, well, Westside's turning it red, but they've lost 2 battles. Pacific fighting their way right back into this. They didn't even invest. This is not a force, but they are a force to be reckoned with. Cloud, 21 HP.
Look at the health.
They've got 50 between them on the other side, but 3 weapons pointed right back. 10 seconds, and no chance? Surely. He doesn't have time to plant it. Only one of them needs to play. A mistake needed for him to have any chance here. And, well, planting is definitely not how you're going to win this round. Cloud, done for.
Walking into the sack. Gave enough time for Pacific to pull off that rotation. And
online for the attackers. Not much else to report on. Certainly not in the defense. Nothing to answer back with. Deep aggression on A. Yeah, I said this could be something to exploit for GX, but oh my goodness! I didn't expect them to go running into the spawn, and that is going to
overtime, and you let that happen.
I'd force the pressure onto Ninja and take the site. Oh, he's continuing. Ara's gone through the stun. The Waylay dive as well, but they're not accounting for another player. So close inside the smoke. Seven gets a second, but all his teammates have fallen. Ninja now last alive. Fires through the Nightfall. And I think caught them both as well. good information to play with. No trail going back towards main. Catches Ara in the open. In goes the reveal, and Ninja! It's going to still cover all of mid, giving a lot of space, but it's abandoned immediately. The pit left open as they wrap into heaven. PCIFIC reinforcing it with a snake bite down. Already reacting with a lot of utility, and this time cNed ahead of the curve. Ninja backing him up on sight. In goes the showstopper as Flickless falls, and well, that push comes to a... They're bracing each other. Waiting for the inevitable, tries to turn from the flash, but that's so smart. The early peek, the play behind the push, but there's no push. GX are waiting for this exact thing to happen, for PCIFIC to overextend and then to come in with the punish. And now finally, they'll make their way towards the site.
Start in place. Grubinho's going walkabouts. He's looking for the opponent on the other side.
Already going to be avoiding the ultimate sent through by westside. Now the heaven split. They force themselves into main. It's going to be 7 alongside qpert, but it's only 7 that's needed to hold the line. Clean shots without the shields, and clearly he doesn't need them. Westside and Cloud, 2v5. The shoe on the other foot now as 7 storms him down. Love to see it. Generational plans from Thinky.
That's the guy who just killed everyone last round.
Yeah, he got 3 headshots last round, clean as can be, and now he's caught in the open, goofing around. That's a strange one. PCIFIC, they have managed to make a big mistake and then massively overcorrect into a 4v2. This is a strange game, folks. I don't know what we're witnessing, but I don't want it to...
The fade operator is a nuance. It's not something you see very often, and might be in trouble. Wesson, they're running through the utility, but hey, it's worked out for PCIFIC. That 6-6 not looking very likely. I think a combo breaker pattern ruiner is about to happen.
Oh, they always say a Viper wall, a snake bite, and a nade. Very weak combination. They pass each other on the ropes. They've passed each other on the ropes. Alorante, he's dodged the dog. What's going on? They have not seen this man. He is a specter, a shadow, and he is about to strike from the... He's made noise! What is this game? And now he's leaving the site where they are to track the guy he doesn't know is flanking. I don't know what I'm witnessing. Grubinho somehow comes out of this in the best position possible, strikes onto qpert. Alorante's on the other side of the bloody map. And now PCIFIC, they've only got screens in sight to play with. They backed themselves into a corner.
But also that's where GX are going. They're walking into the one stack up on the side. And now Groovy's backstab almost seems meaningless. This has been a story of a round. One that I hope we never have to tell again. A 1 versus 3. He's dead. There's no way he comes out. Seems to be the case. A slow attack, a fast defense, and Alorante looking to claim that headshot machine title, but there is other contenders in the server. Ara maybe being one of them. A pistol switch in the middle of the fight. qpert at least claiming 1, but it's the advantage in the favor of GX. Meaning, if I'm going to metagame the story so far, PCIFIC are in the lead in this round.
Based on what we've seen, Alorante, oh, he's got the position. He'll catch one, the other on the other side of the Viper wall, but Flickless comes through with the pick they needed. Ninja's giving away the fact that he's here.
30 seconds
and of
left.
course, they would have suspected it, but now they know for sure. 25 seconds, and it looks like they'll give him the space to stabilize, to get this plant down and flip the clock into his favor. He's very close to the elbow, but that gets him round. Well, okay, we have a lot to work with on that defensive side. They have a lot of weaknesses, and now they've missed the timing.
Unlucky.
I think Grubby might even have been seen stepping up there. Seemed PCIFIC were more than ready. And now, if they get the plant down, they can keep all these fights to range, which is what I want to see with so many weaknesses on the other side. And it should be an easy closer.
Yeah.
But what we're going to see,
I don't know.
Probably something different.
They're going to keep 4 players alive. I have faith.
Sky's out.
See, good start.
Nicely done.
Gone. Flickless.
It's not push right.
Gonna take a bit of it. 3 players alive. They're going to keep 3 players alive. That's 3 would be fine. 2 would be worrying. 2 would be worrying. And if anybody else was to get caught from it. Over the top they go. This is a ruse. cNed is being sold to the wolves. He's being sent to his doom. But there's already an aggressive position from Ara. He only really needs to take 1, and that's what he will do.
Yep.
Into the retake. Ninja's position is nice, though. They're going to pop some utility, but his flank is still in play. Timing here going to be everything, but he is making his move. Ninja by name, ninja by nature. Alorante is kind of slowing them down at least a little bit. And now that backstab becomes even more deadly. It's only going to come down to Flickless if he can turn the tide, if he looks back in the other direction, but he is just waiting for his teammates to make that move. A troublesome position for one. qpert in the corner, Ninja, that defender for the trade.
It's within reach. It's a few seconds away, and already Flickless is down. That's a huge spam kill from Ninja. He's been very good on those. In this series so far, the response to flash out and take down one. Westside right out of there. Great response from the defenders.
Showstopper out as well. Pretty much every kill you get on the GX side removes one of the ults, and or what would have been a good plan of get in with a showstopper, put down the Viper's Pit. That idea is now gone. Nightfall sent through. It's not connected up to anybody. They'll give some space. The reveal lets them know the west side is hit, but this is a ruse. And this is a ruse that, as of right now, has claimed 0 victims. Nobody has yet to move on the defensive side. They're sitting passive. Cosmic Divide goes in, and it's a solid ult to really make things awkward for Ara. But he's going to connect to the site. And now with 30 seconds, they go back into a B site, which again, as said, no one has moved.
Yeah, they heard the op on A. They think then that the rotate should be coming in. The pressure should be felt, but the headshot machine. He's got it again. And then the run. Oh my goodness, Ara's missed. That was a crucial shot, a much needed one. 12 seconds, okay. They can win the sprint to the site, and the first man doesn't have the spike. His job is to clear this out, to find this defender if they're on side, but Cloud catches them all. A double with time too far gone. It's so daunting of a score line, but here on Split, the attack we've seen so far, there is much left. Oh, to be seen from Pacific. A good kill by Cloud. Flickless on the rope takes down Ninja. And now the numbers back to a 3v3. But this time the pit does come into play. But it's not on the site. They can completely avoid it, wrap around it. Grubinho has other ideas, sitting inside, waiting for aggression. They've caught cNed around the top now. Pacific want to push through. They want to get some information, perhaps. And if they do, that's the hope of Grubinho. He'll be there waiting, shorty in hand. But instead, they back off, move towards the site. This creates a danger. If Alorante goes down, Grubinho can easily join the troops. And in fact, the pit is going to fall. Now that whole defensive wing completely crumbles as Grubby.
Record for the worst post-bomb in VCT history.
Certainly with the sample size. Ara, he didn't even hit the boombot. He's out of there. Giving up control, damage done on 7, down to 30. And this one of 5 attempts for GX to close it out. They go pushing into the defense that's shown on almost every retake. They have waited 30 seconds. They've let the clock run down. They've let Pacific make a mistake. And this time, it's an early mistake. The same punish there from GX. A big advantage. And look at them again. They are just waiting. I don't know if Pipson genuinely screamed just wait 30 times during the timeouts, but if he did, perfectly played. Hold on. There's still some life in Pacific. We've seen them bounce back in some big clutch moments before, and now it's only the Viper from the pit left standing. Flickless does well. Let's see if they've got a better idea this time.
Slow, thrown in. He's trying to create disparity between the push, and I'll be honest, it worked for a moment. They need a little bit more. Grubinho, a nice attempt, but it's only the one. This time, it's not just a post spawn, it's an advantage in one, but Cloud's trying to get a little bit cheeky. Grab I like it. It's going to deny that little bit of extra space. Ara, though, has found one on the back. It leaves them a little bit more segmented, a little bit more trapped. The reaction from Pacific should be to try and fight one of these players. They're completely isolated. They're sectioned off. But as of right now, they're yet to find that fight, and they're splitting up themselves. A chance still for Ara. A chance to maybe take this here and now, but it's qpert. He will keep them in the done deal. Or maybe we're looking at the other side, and it's just like GX can't win around the second they get to 12. Ara is looking to change that. The operator with the opener. Pressure being placed on, but Ara's there again. The distraction of Cloud has helped him out massively. Can he get out? Yes, he can. And they've been fantastic in their retakes with a 2-man advantage. Make it a little more. This time, it doesn't look like it's going to go back the other way unless qpert has won.